Hello, everybody. So, I hope you can hear the sounds of nature, the trees in the background, the squirrels and the birds, and that sort of thing. I haven't been uploading because, as I had previously said in the past, my partner and I are renovating an old structure, and it's on acreage, and so we are actively having to do a lot of work, and it's I love it because it's in nature. This morning, in fact, sitting on the porch, where I'm sitting right now, I was able to. Okay, so I had to pause it for a second because my dog came outside. And anyways, so we're renovating this property, and I just absolutely love it out here. It's reminds me of where I grew up, and as bad as the tumultuous and abusive as my childhood experience was, one of the experiences that never left me is the peace that I found in nature, among the animals that live in the wild, the squirrels and the birds and the trees. And that has always been something that I find very relaxing and grounding and peaceful, and can be frustrating when you're so far away from civilization that it's an hour's drive to get to a hospital or a grocery store. But at the same time, it breeds a self-sufficiency within itself, and you learn to work with what you have available rather than, I can't cook unless I have this, or just fill in the blank. And so I really haven't had time to upload videos or create videos or do readings. I have been doing readings, for myself, because I do tap in every day, and just to keep my spiritual practice, alive and well and moving in the way that it needs to be, in the way that I know grounds my energy and helps me in ways that I don't even, always understand. And so yesterday had been a visitation day for my little one, and she was super excited, just happy. She's like, sunshine constantly on, 100 plus X, and she is just very full of life, and I love that. And as we were waiting for her to get back, there was an event where someone attempted, or sent children actually, to attempt to gather information about the make and the model of the vehicle we were driving. And it was, just odd. And one of the things I kept reminding myself of during this is just find 3 things that I'm thankful for and focus on that. Don't focus on the deceitfulness of, what's obviously happening. And so I did, and it's, sometimes it's hard, because especially when you're dealing with someone that is untrustworthy, and it's not a oops, They know the rules. They know how things are supposed to happen. They know that, you don't send kids over to the other party's car to see, oh, what are they driving? Maybe did you see the license plate? That kind of thing, because you're involving children in adult conflict, right? And that's just not their place. And it's not a parent's place to do that, because that is child abuse, in the way that you're manipulating this child to do something that they think is right, which is really wrong, right? And so, as that, was happening, I just thought, I had this thought of, honestly, this other energy doing this, manipulating these children to do that, like they're this person's minions, is truly only destroying the relationship that they have with them, and is teaching these children very unproductive, unhealthy patterns that likely will be the source of a lot of heartache and unendings and traumas for them later on in life. And so, as that was unfolding and we were driving home to here, I just, felt this overwhelming sense of empathy for the children, but also empathy for this other energy that feels the need to destroy and manipulate and tear down in order to gain some kind of control over something that is not even within their grasp. Truly the only thing within that individual's grasp is the choice they make and how they respond, if they're going to react or respond, right? And what I was reminded of is, so often when you have a spiritual awakening, there are things that you trust and believe in to be coming towards you to right wrongs, right? And sometimes, a lot of times, when we as humans are stuck in unproductive patterns, whether or not we want to admit it, but most especially when we point the blame at everybody else, but refuse to see the toxicity in ourselves, what ends up happening is like self-fulfilling prophecy. So the very thing that we say we would see as unjust is what happens, to teach us that good things are available, but it's not going to happen if you're not putting in the work. And in order to get to healed relationships, you have to do the work. You can't expect that, poof, there's a magic wand that's waved and it changes everything, and there's no accountability. We have to hold ourselves accountable for the toxicity within ourselves, right? And when you do that, you're able to release those burdens of shame and guilt and come to the understanding that, you're not perfect. You did the best at the time with what you had, that you knew how to, and some of that stems from, not all of it, some stems from really bad patterning that you were taught is your personality, right? And maybe you relearned it, you unlearn that personality trait, that need to always be right, that need to put somebody down in order to make yourself feel more secure, because you know internally that you feel insecure about an outcome. And knowing that, as I was thinking about this other person, I can see a really heartbreaking event unfolding, and as unfair as they may think it to be, I believe it's the universe's way of clearing out unproductive patterns in their lives for them to be able to see that they and they alone are responsible for the choices that they make. Other people are not responsible for the choices they make. And true self-sufficiency is understanding that and then operating consciously aware in an honest way of that understanding. Not expecting somebody outside of yourself to somehow save you from the bad choices you have made, and, learning from the ripple effects of one's choices, why maybe that choice was not a good choice, why that pattern needs to be, put to death, brought to an end, and released, right? And I share that and I say that from the space of having gone through my own experience like that, and it was very traumatic, it was very painful. And even though, yes, there was a lot of deceitfulness that happened within that event unfolding in my life, what that taught me is that I do not want to be stuck in patterns that are not truly who I am, that do not bring love into situations, that do not respect my value and my self-worth, right? And so sitting back now and thinking about it, it just literally is very heartbreaking to watch this unfold for this person, because I know that in their mind everything has happened to them, and yet I can see that what has unfolded and what has happened has been solely related to the choices that they've made. This person has been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to choose to heal and refuses to. They literally refuse to take a different path, make a different choice, go down a different, avenue, and yet at the same time expect to have this existence, this life experience that they haven't even put the work in to receive, simply because they feel entitled to it, which is just asinine to me, makes no sense. But then on the other hand, it does, because this is a person that is very unhealed, that will never admit that, but they want what they perceive those that have arrived have, without having to actually earn it or work for it, right? And that's like the crux of human nature at times, is that we want the sweet things without having to actually go through the trials or go through the tough experiences to learn about our own value and our own worth and our own strengths and weaknesses, right? And life just doesn't happen like that, And so, in thinking about that, when I was thinking about 3 things that I was immensely grateful for in my life, one of the experiences that I am grateful for is in the midst of my very abusive, traumatizing childhood. I grew up at the foot of a mountain range, and my backyard, or the backyard to the house, the ranch where my foster family lived, backed up to U.S. forestry land. And so I could always go out in the forest, in the trees, and just be at peace and find some solace and ground myself and just really release all of the toxicity that was my daily experience, that was imbued into me because I had a very extremely abusive environment that wanted to turn me dark, wanted to make me loveless and lifeless, wanted me to believe that there is no higher power, source, God, that I had no protection, even though at really strategic moments in my life, for some reason that those energies could not understand, big, large dogs that some would consider aggressive were always drawn to me, and they were very protective of me. And so when those dogs were around me, because they would end up being, my pets, my companion, my friend, no one was able to get close to me, And so it was, for me, as though the animals recognized what I was going through, even if other people, other adults that were supposed to have been a safety net and a security system for me, failed to accomplish that, failed to be that for me. And so, that is where my love and appreciation for nature and animals came from, is that right there. Thinking back on that during yesterday's events, I was able to see that, maybe this person never had that, and they've always wanted that, and the only thing that can fix that is a break from everything that they perceive to be reality. As harsh as that is, sometimes that is exactly what is needed, and the example in nature would be fires. In order for growth to happen, fires take place so that new life can grow from the ashes. And as new life grows from the ashes, there's beautiful experiences and amazing healing that takes place, within the ground and within the, the life of the forest, right? Just like in our lives. And I just looked up and saw 2 cardinals in the trees. So I'm going to end that here. I'm going to encourage you, whoever is listening, to make time today, find time today, in the next couple of days, maybe to write a list of 3 things that you are grateful for and how they've impacted your life, how they have changed your life. If it's an internal pattern that you've recognized and you've, committed yourself to releasing it, letting it go, so that you can heal whatever it is for you, I would encourage you to do that and focus on that and watch and see what unfolds from your commitment to acknowledging what you're grateful for. All right, everybody, I hope you have a good day, you have a good weekend, and you have a fabulous week ahead, that you feel loved and you just enjoy your experience in life and enjoy what is unfolding for you. And if you're in a darkened space, reach out for help, talk to somebody. Don't repress your emotions. Find somebody to speak with, find somebody to help you, find someone that will listen without trying to solve your problems. And hopefully you do find someone like that. All right. Have a good day, everybody.